Hi friends, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time to my channel. Today I'm working on doing some layered circle embellishments. Just kind of got an antique color to these, and then we've got two circles. And if you look close at these circles, you can kind of see it's got a faux stitch line to it. So I think these turned out pretty cute. I'm going to show you how I made them. They're super simple, super quick. And then I'll show you the way that I like to use some of these. The butterfly, and I'll show you what punches and things I use to make these. So I've got this set, and then I've also got, let me move those to the top, and I'll show you this other set that I've got done. And it's just a little pink set. Same thing, just 6 little circles. And they've got the same kind of little either hearts or butterflies to them. So let me show you super fast how I make these. They come together really quick and easy. Okay, to start out for these backgrounds, I've kind of got an antique color-ish that I've used for these. Here's just a few of the designs that I use, but just use any kind of, antique-ish old looking that you might have in your stash. And these are the circle dies that I have to use for this project. And these you can get at Amazon, or I think Temu has them as well. So then from that I've pulled out just a couple here that I'm using. And if you look at these closely on the back side, they're the dies that have the little faux stitch lines on them. You can kind of see both. And then I've used the one size, and then I've used one there's one that goes in between, but then I used one that was a little smaller. I'm not even sure what size these are. Let me grab my ruler and we'll just see so you can kind of have an idea. Of course you can make these whatever size that you want them to be. So they look like they're about a little over 2 1/4, and then this one is about 1 1/2 by the time you're done, just to give you an idea. But just something, one that's going to be a little bigger and one that's going to be a little smaller. Okay, I've already cut out just a few of these kind through my die cutting machine. Then I've got a few of these that I've already cut out too, but I'm thinking I want to do a pinkish flower or a bluish flower that I have here on hand. So I'm going to go run both of these through my machine and we'll see which one we end up using. Okay, I'm back with these. I got that one cut out, and then we'll pop this one off. And then we'll kind of line them up with a couple of these and see which color that we might like best with what. So that one's not popping quite as much. Let's see. I think I might actually go with this one. This one or this one? Let's go with this one. And of course we'll make these other ones up later. But let's just concentrate on these two for now. And then I love how you can really see those little faux stitch lines around the edges compared to just punching these out on a regular circle. I'm going to go around the edge of this with some Distress ink. This is by Tim Holtz, and it's in the walnut stain color. I like darkening up the edges just a wee bit. Makes it have more of that antique look to it. And then I'm just using an old sponge for this. Okay, like that. I'll put that to the side. And then for my butterflies and my hearts that I have on these, I've just got a punch. So here's this one. Looks like I got it for $3 at Goodwill in 2017, so it's been around for a little bit. And then I've got this little one. It's just a smaller one. I just went through and found some of the tinier ones that I have in my stash. And not sure what company makes that one. But then I've got this one from Key. That's just a little heart. And it looks like I paid $1 for it at a thrift store. So I love finding punches when I go to garage sales or thrift stores or resale shops because they're so expensive otherwise to buy them new. And I always, a little tip is I always will have a little piece of paper in my purse that I just keep in there, and it's literally just to pull out and punch with it while I'm at the store, just to make sure that it works well. So anyhow, back to this. I think on this color, I used on these for these other ones, I just used this red one, reddish colored one here, or darkish, pinkish, reddish, whatever it might be. So I'm going to stick with that same color theme. And let's just kind of punch a couple different ones out and see which one we might like on there the best. Let's try all three. Got that. Actually, I'm going to flip this one over because it's a little harder to punch. Oh, okay, and then the flower. So just go through your stash and find some that might be the right size. Like the butterfly, the heart, and the little flower. I think I'm partial to the butterfly, so let's go with that. And then I'm also going to use my sponge, what's left on here, and just barely hit the edge. You don't see it a whole lot because this is a darker color, but I want it to kind of all be the same. So, and then I'm simply just going to glue this down. I'm going to grab a piece of glue paper. You can use whatever kind of adhesive you want to use for this. A wet glue, or if you've got a tape runner, anything for that will probably work pretty good. We're going to stick that right in the middle. I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory just by looking at the picture, so if you've kind of hung in with me this far, thank you for staying around and watching. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers lately, and I'm just so grateful. It makes me so happy, so thank you to those that come and subscribe and comment, and that just makes my day. So let's see, I want to put a little, let me zoom down here a little bit. I want to add just a little bit of bling to this, so let's see if we want to do, there's a little pinkish colored one. I kind of like that. And I'm just going to use some tacky glue for that. Make sure it stays on well. And just add it right to the middle. Maybe a little more. There we go. Okay, and that is all there is to that. Pull that up a little closer so you can see. It's going to turn out pretty, I think. So let me show you some different ways that I like to use these. I know I've said in a lot of my other videos, I use a lot of little mini note cards. So I've got that here. So let me move that one to the side since it's still a bit wet. And let's pull this little guy over. And you can just add it to a little, let me show you. This is just a 3x3 card. And you can add it to the middle like that. I've also done this one. It's just another 3x3 card that I've embossed and then just kind of inked over the top. And that would add just a little bit of prettiness to it. You can come over and add a little saying, you know, and I love you to it, and that would pretty it up as well. Another way I like to use these is I've done a video a little while back where I've made these hidden paperclip embellishments. So these would just slide over the side of a page in your journal. This might be a good one. Well, let's try it on this one. They're just hidden, so I've got the back as one and this, and it'll just slide right over your paper and kind of be hidden back in there. And then I'll leave that up just a little bit, and you can put a piece of ribbon or something that you'd like in between there, and then it would be on both sides. So that's kind of a pretty thing. Oops. And then it would be on both sides. So that's another thing you can do with these. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. But that's another thing you could do is take a couple of these and put them together back to back and do that hidden paper clip. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description box where you can go back and watch that. But these would be a pretty size to do into hidden paper clips as well. You can also, move that out of the way, you can also take these and punch a hole in the top and make a pretty tag out of it. So there are lots of endless ideas, or just add them to your page however you would like. So that's how quick and easy these little layered circle embellishments come together, and of course it's fun to embellish them however you would like to do that. But I think that's it for this video today, guys. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you next time.